Good morning, everybody. Hope your evening went well. They said we got one more cool day, then some people are even forecasting 80s by the end of the week for us. So it'd be nice to have it back into the 70s. It's been cool. Yesterday when we went out walking, at temperature in the mid 50s, but the wind was blowing 20, gusts to 30 out of the north, and it still had that cool feel to it. So spring is late. Some moisture in the forecast. The hard red winter wheat crop, which is the world's bread wheat, could use some moisture in the western half of the state. So wheat dies about 5 times before it gets into the barn. It's a very, very strong crop, but we could use some moisture. Okay, overnight, stock markets are mixed. Japan's down. Hong Kong and China's are up. Europe's are down. The E-mini's come off of its highs. So I think the key thing today for us is going to be the direction of the E-mini. Today is the first day of Alcoa earnings, and it will be reported after the market closes today, and the stock is acting like they're going to beat their earnings forecast. News today is limited to jolts, which can be used as kind of a surrogate number that supports the job market, and they're looking for 3.99 million, up from last month. And then we have the NIHB's small business optimism index at 92.3. Neither one of these have any impact on the market. So the direction of the E-mini will be the number 1 focus. And then number 2 focus will be the 10-year auction, which gets off today. The 3-year auction, which gets off today. And that's a pretty good one. So the market should find some support from the 3-year auction. So we can sell failure like last night to take out 28 to the buck, and we had a 22 to 26 buy coming in last night. The overnight session low is 22.5, kind of right in the middle. So we'll make our buy 1 in the 20 to 24, and buy 2 13 to 17. Now, the way the market is acting right now, especially if the stock market sells, we should see 3 up auctions. The normal course for an auction is the first one up, the 3-year, 10-year down, and then sideways into the auction and up off the 30-year. This historically has been, but this year we've seen quite a few of just every auction up. So our support zone is going to be buy 1 right here visually. Buy 2 will be 17 to 13. And sell 1 is going to be 27 to 31. And then 3 to 7. I do like the buy side better. Okay, a lot of the news out overnight is mixed. Gold is much higher. Unrest in the Ukraine. Japan's central bank stimulus was the same. Did not add to it. They wouldn't have to add to it as aggressive as it is. China made a statement, their central bank, that they would support their markets, but not in one big swell FOOP, that there'll be little tiny tweaks to the system. The United States is cutting its open market support. The European Central Bank is not chartered to take on assets to buy other entities' debt. So they're doing it in rhetoric. So what you have is central banks around the globe are starting to tighten. And we're going to see that means the markets are going to have to run on their own merits or fundamentals. So today, if we can get selling for the third day in the stock market, that opens us up for 10 to 15 market days of generally lower. If the market rebounds today, like about a third of the articles say that it will, then we've just made new highs, and the market is set to go back up and retest it. Fundamentals suggest lower prices, but they have suggested lower prices for a heck of a long time without getting those. So that's where we find ourselves right now. Okay, on the bond, similar situation. Our sell zone, we're at 10 right now. The high is 16, so 15 to 19 will be sell 1. Sell 2, 23 to 27. On the buy side, the knob spread came in about a tick, so it's really kind of coasted and went the same. And this is an auction week, so it's always a good time to be a buyer of the knob spread. So we've got real high volume area down here at 01. We have a breakout from 06. So we may have to pay up in the overnight, so we'll maybe stops below 8, so we'll make 4 to 8 buy 1. And we'll make 29 to 01 for buy 2. Thanks, Jimmy. Okay, the buy in the 30-year is very, very aggressive. Would like to get it done against the buck, that high volume area. Okay, no real tangible piece of news tied to the rally in gold. The articles around the globe are talking about withdrawal of central bank support for markets around the globe. G20 has begun to tighten. That will stress the financial systems by gold. In Ukraine, a couple of articles out about Ukraine is on the verge of civil war. We read about various entities battling it openly, some taking over current Ukraine offices and buildings, those that want the Ukraine to go back to Russia, and then that's countered by groups fighting those groups that are taking over the buildings, and hence the articles about civil war. So, I mean, I don't know, but it is tenuous, and that would be another reason to buy gold. Okay, the 1307.50 breakout, we said if we got through that, this high volume area up at 17 was the attractor. So we've got 15 plus or minus for sell 1, 20 plus or minus for sell 2. On the buy side, the 5 to 7 area, let them come back and retest that level. And then the breakout came from 1, so basically 1300, 1302 for buy 2. Again, the reasons for buying gold are not rational trading decisions. It's done out of fear. People want a little gold to protect their backsides in case things get a lot worse. And that's not going to change. And again, it's been really, this go around, I have really been taken by how broad a base people that wouldn't normally buy precious metals, people that would be considered blue-collar workers that I bump into regularly at the gym. And gold and silver is where they're at. They're going to have some of that just off of common sense to protect themselves if things get bad. And they say when it pulls back, I'm buying even more. So we're right here at the 75 area. You can see the market has rejected prices basically above 80. So We're pointed to move higher right here, so we'll make 80 to 90 sell 1. And if we take out the 90 area, we'll make like 38.10 to 25 for sell 2. On the euro, the strength in the euro is attributed to weakness in the dollar, weakness in the yen on a relative basis because the yen is up against the dollar overnight. So Europe, the euro dollar does well for reasons that, fundamental reasons that often escape me. So you guys have to be aware of that. How my thinking is colored. Okay, crude oil's up overnight. You know, the world is fighting deflation, so you have to feel that maybe it's the Ukraine. There are more skirmishes, is the way that I characterize them. Some of them are attributed to Russian soldiers disguised as ethnic Russian Ukrainians. Some of them are attributed to the groups that wanted independence from Russia. So, I mean, it's hard to sort it all out, but we do know that they are shooting at each other over there, and a few unfortunates have bitten the dust. And we get all sorts of articles out of the Ukraine about how the independent groups from Russia and trying to take over and get rid of this previous dictator were actually behind the killings. Some 75 people were killed before the previous dictator fled. So, I mean, it's hard to sort out who's doing what to whom. You get all sorts of stories. That's just kind of the way it works. But again, in that uncertainty, crude is held up pretty good. We know that supply is going up. So we're going to sell 50s to 75s right where resistance is, then 102, 225. On the buy side, we're going to make the buy side 75 to 101. And then 25 to 50. Okay, now to everybody's favorite contract, the E-mini. It's a tough call today. If we can, I'm going to put up the screen again just to maintain perspective. And bar charts, to me, the value of a bar chart is that you can get a lot of information on one screen. So you can see that we are at support. We have this 15 area to 25 that we pointed out yesterday is pretty good support, and we're very, very close to it. We have the bodies of these candles down here in the 35 area, which is what we got to yesterday. So there's going to be pretty good support, but what we really need right here is if this selling is to continue, no worse than a consolidation day like we have right in here. If the selling is not to continue, then we can come back, and we just, 3 days ago, last week, made new contract highs on the end of the first couple of trading days in April. So we're at one of those points. We have rejected prices below 35 previously. We've rejected this area. And if we can't bust the 30-35 area today, we can come back up. Now, taking a look at this, you got probably your cleanest break in the volume at 60. And then we have this 50 area So 50 to 60 right up here is pretty good resistance. If that area holds as resistance, the market is still pointed lower. Okay, on to the F2 screen. Clear as mud, right? My feeling is we've got a little more selling to come, but today could be a pause day. We've got a couple of good heavy days of selling, and if we don't bring new buying in today, then a good chance the market will pause. Okay, so right here we have a new move out of the middle in the overnight session. Out of the 41 area, we're at 36.75. So the first area, and it's very, very aggressive, is sell 1 is going to be this 40.42 area. And then sell 2 is going to be 45.47. To get started, now this 50 to 60 area up here is best resistance. And this is where if we can stay below this 50 to 60 area and reject that, we got a pretty good chance for the selling to continue later on this week. So 20 points off the bottom, which would be a very, very small relief rally. Sometimes short covering rallies in this baby are 40 to 70 points. That can come over a day or two. 20 points takes us back to the 50-55 area, which would put us right into it. Okay, we've gotten stops below yesterday's low. This is a perfect setup right here. So day session opens, comes down, and can't take out this 35 area. This market is set to rally. So we're going to play for stops below the overnight session. Buy 1, and then the 25-27 is going to be buy 2. But the side we like is the sell side. Okay, it'll take me at least 25 minutes to get everything up. I've got to go back and get that done. I will be back up and running as soon as I can.